Most homemade muffins turn out too dense or too dry, or they just fall short on flavor. Add strawberries in the mix and they can turn out soggy or just flat on top of that. Not today. We are making bakery style strawberry muffins. They are nice and tall, they are super soft, they are super flavorful, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Okay, the most important ingredient here is going to be your berries. Pick fresh strawberries, rinse them off, and we're going to cut them into small pieces. You want them small, bite-sized, nothing too large. So here's a place that's easy to go wrong if you pick berries that aren't flavorful. You need a strawberry you enjoy eating by yourself. If you wouldn't snack on it, don't put it in your muffins. This is 1.5 cups or 175 grams of berries. All right, let's make our muffin batter. Comes together super quickly. First thing is 4 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. You don't want this to be too hot, even though our oil will help cool it down in just a minute. In addition to that butter, we are going to use an equal amount or 1/4 cup of a neutral cooking oil. Canola, vegetable, avocado, any of those will work. We will also add 1 cup of granulated sugar. And let me just tell you, this blend of butter and oil is one of the things that really sets my muffins apart and makes them nice and flavorful while at the same time being nice and moist. Go ahead and stir everything together real quickly, get it all nicely combined, get all that sugar moistened. Okay, next we're going to add 1 large egg. This should really be room temperature. Drop it in there. And we are also going to be adding 1 egg white. So the yolk, you can discard it, use it for whatever you want. Save it for your breakfast, I don't know. But we're just dropping in the egg white. And we're also going to add a nice generous pour of vanilla extract. Vanilla works pretty well with the strawberry flavor here. It doesn't always work with fruit nicely. But we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now that might have been a little heavy because I got a little messy there. It's fine, it's fine. All right, and now I like to use my whisk and we'll vigorously whisk together these ingredients, get them nicely combined. And that extra egg white in there is super intentional. It helps give us a fluffier muffin. You need one of those like tilty bowls so you can really see what I'm doing. Okay, beautiful. Next, we're going to add some buttermilk, 1/2 cup of buttermilk. This has been sitting at room temperature for a bit. It's going to help everything combine a little bit better. Let's go ahead and drizzle that in. Oh, it's really thick. This is like a real buttermilk, or I should say full fat buttermilk, not a low fat buttermilk. Now I have a buttermilk substitute on the blog. You can make it with milk and vinegar or lemon juice. It works fine, but you're going to get the best results with real buttermilk. Try it that way at least once in your life. Okay, let's get to our dry ingredients. Grab yourself a separate mixing bowl. It doesn't have to be too big. And we're going to add 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. It's 220 grams. 2 teaspoons each of baking powder and cornstarch. I actually don't know which one's which right now, but 2 teaspoons cornstarch and 2 teaspoons baking powder. No baking soda in this muffin recipe. That is not an accident. Where's my spoon? I don't need it yet. We don't need it for this recipe, and you can use buttermilk in a recipe that doesn't use baking soda. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And before I forget, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now we will whisk or stir everything together. Get all of those ingredients nicely combined. Here's where the magic happens. Let's bring back our wet ingredients. It should be nicely combined. We're going to add all of our dry ingredients into the batter, to the wet ingredients. It's all batter. And we will just gently begin to fold everything together. But with muffins, you never want to overmix. So once we hit the 50% mark, we're going to stop. Now we will add our strawberries into the batter. We add the berries at 50%, that way our batter begins to combine, and then once we add the berries, we can finish without overmixing it. Handle your muffin batter delicately, don't overmix, never use an electric mixer, just a spatula. And once everything is just combined, we're gonna stop. We're gonna pause actually for 30 minutes before we go any further. Technically, this pause period is an optional step, but if you let your batter rest for 30 minutes before you bake it, you're going to get even taller muffin tops. So we pause, we cover the batter with a towel, and we preheat our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's a pretty high temperature, so let it preheat while your batter is resting. It's been 30 minutes, so now let's scoop our batter. You should notice it probably is gonna seem a lot thicker than when you first covered it. And I'm gonna tell you another trick to get those nice tall muffins. This batter technically makes enough for 12 muffins, but we're only going to fill 10 muffin liners. It's gonna make the ones that we fill extra tall. I like to use an ice cream scoop for this. Now, in addition to only filling 10 liners with 12 muffins worth of batter, we're also going to bake these muffins on 2 temperatures, starting at 425, changing to 350 without opening the door. That's going to also help make them nice and tall. All right, I'm trying to evenly fill these so that they look nice when they come out of the oven. Everything already smells so good. Okay, you can top these muffins with a vanilla glaze after they bake, but my favorite is to top them with a coarse baking sugar. I will link to this exact one in the description because I just get it off Amazon. If you don't want to buy it, just use regular granulated sugar. I love this stuff. Into the center rack of our 425 Fahrenheit preheated oven. Bakes for 8 minutes. Do not open the oven door, but drop the temperature down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and continue to bake for another 11 to 12 minutes. Good way to tell they're done, insert a toothpick in the center. It should come out clean, preferably with a few moist crumbs. All right, these are looking pretty good. We're going to let these cool in the muffin tin for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to carefully remove them to a cooling rack to cool completely. This will keep the bottoms from getting soggy. Oh, these are still too warm, but we're gonna break in anyway. Look at that texture. This is the best way to eat a strawberry. Wow. We'll say 2 tablespoons cornstarch. 2 tablespoons cornstarch. 2 teaspoons cornstarch. Now we will add our strawberries into the
The camera's right there. Are we supposed to be doing this without a camera right there? Like...
Good eye, good eye.
Man down.
Should have gotten that.